Hi again, everyone. It's Sean Stewart from Digihammer, and it's another episode of Local Business Tips, where we provide all the greatest, best information for local businesses to navigate the digital world of social media. Today, we're going to talk about Twitter. Now, most businesses, they're on Facebook. They have a Facebook page. They might be on Instagram. Hopefully, most businesses are on Google My Business. They should be. That's one of the best places to be. I've definitely had clients that are also on Pinterest and LinkedIn and other different platforms. But one of the questions that I often get from clients and prospects is, should we be on Twitter? We hear about Twitter all the time in the news. And it's a natural question to ask. So before I answer that question, let's take a look at some of the facts. First of all, as of October of 2020, just a few months ago, there were about 340 million Twitter users. That's nothing to scoff at. I mean, of course, Facebook is much bigger. It's in the billions. But 340 million people, that's basically about the size of the U.S. Now, of course, Twitter users come from all around the whole world. But the point is, it's a huge number of people. It's a big audience, and definitely one you shouldn't scoff at. Now, on a daily basis, about half of those numbers are actually active on Twitter, and somewhere between 40 and 50% of Twitter users are very active on the platform, active pretty much every day. So the people who are on Twitter, they're very loyal to the platform and very active. So from that point of view, it's super attractive. It's super attractive for businesses to be on Twitter. And that includes local businesses. Now, in the U.S., about 1 in 5 U.S. adults are on Twitter. So only about 20% of the U.S. adult population. If you were to look at Facebook, that percentage would be much, much higher. So from that standpoint, there are a lot of people who, frankly, are not on Twitter, and Twitter receives an oversized share of media and news about its platform based on the number of people who are actually on the platform, at least in the U.S. There's a good number of men on the platform, probably more men than women. And that's also unusual for relative to some of the other social media platforms where on Facebook, I don't know what the actual numbers here are off the top of my head, but in general, it's about 60% women on Facebook and 40% men. I'm sure it's those numbers can shift a little bit, but in general, that's what you see. And you see in terms of the people active on Facebook is definitely, there are many more women active on Facebook than men. So Twitter stands out a little bit in terms of its male population. So if you're trying to reach men, that could be a place you want to look. And also, 80% of Twitter users are accessing the platform from a mobile device. And about 90% of video views are done so from mobile devices as well. Video views on Twitter. So there's a huge number of mobile users. That's no surprise. Mobile devices have taken over and are the dominant way that people access social media and the internet these days. So no surprises there. So on paper, Twitter is a very attractive platform, even for local businesses. We know large businesses, enterprise-sized businesses, are there in big numbers. You can find Nike there, and Microsoft there, and Apple is there, and you name the company, they're on Twitter. In fact, I've heard that if you're trying to get support from Google, one of the best places to go is to go to their Twitter account. Inside information there for you. Yeah, all the big companies are there. It's a mature platform. It's got millions and millions of users. It's got a huge number of users in the US, even though percentage-wise it's only about 20% of US adults. But nonetheless, it's still in the millions. So, should your local business be there? Well, I'll give you the answer that I give my clients and prospects. I never say, don't go on Twitter. And in fact, if a client of mine wants to go on Twitter, I'll go there with them. I'm happy to be to help them with their Twitter account and manage that on their behalf and help them use the platform to grow their business. But the answer I always give is, if you're going to go on Twitter, proceed with caution. Twitter is one of the most interesting social media platforms because the very nature of Twitter often encourages arguments. And you certainly see this in the political realm on Twitter, where political arguments hold sway on the day, every day, regardless of whether it's an election year or not. And one of the reasons I say proceed with caution is because for some reason, in the terms of the way the platform is designed, it encourages conflict. And as a result, over the years, there literally are, I guess I'll call them mobs of Twitter people who are seeking out and looking to destroy people and businesses who say the wrong thing. Now, I put that in quotes because sometimes people will say something on Twitter that they thought was completely innocuous, and the Twitter mobs will descend upon them anyway. And even when they try to explain themselves, the Twitter mobs don't relent. And so, I guess in some ways, for those folks, Twitter brings out the worst in people. And that's not something you want your business to be on the receiving end of. It is horrible, and businesses literally have been destroyed because of that. When I give that advice to local businesses, a huge part of that is, do you want to subject your business to that type of risk? I would suspect most local businesses don't. They want to run their business. Maybe they have a pizza shop, or they have an HVAC business, or they're a real estate agent, or you name it. Some type of local business where they're just trying to get their good name out in the community, build a dialogue with the community and with prospects and with existing customers, keep their names in front of those folks, and look for opportunities to find new clients and find new ways to grow sales. When you go on Twitter, you can do those things. But you also run the risk that you could run afoul of the so-called Twitter police, who are cruel and have no mercy in their interactions with people with whom they disagree. So I always urge caution when it comes to Twitter and local businesses. If you want to go there with your eyes wide open. You can do great things there. You can use their platform to promote your business. You can advertise on their platform. And it's a great way to have very quick, to the point, succinct conversations with people. But you do run that risk that you could run afoul of somebody, even if what you posted is completely innocuous. So go there with your eyes wide open, step lightly, and be cautious. It's literally the Wild West on Twitter, and you need to treat it as such. Thanks for stopping by today. If you liked what you saw, please hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and also, if you want to make sure you're reminded of future releases, ring that bell, and you'll get notified in your inbox every time we release a new video. So thanks for stopping by. We'll see you again next week with another video from DigiHammer and Local Business Tips. See you later.